In any field, a woman must work twice as hard to even get half the respect her male counterparts get. That statement, tweeted out by Nicki Minaj in 2017, has been true for as long as women have been allowed to work the same jobs as men. In rap, a male-dominated genre of music founded upon braggadocious and alpha male battles, the statement rings even truer. If you read an anonymous copy of Nicki Minaj's musical resume, her legend status is undeniable. 2 #1 albums, 2 #2 albums, all of which have gone platinum, 12 platinum singles as the lead artist, 24 platinum singles as a featured artist, and some of the most memorable and skilled verses on some of the best rap albums of the decade, including her Monster verse and her Make Me Proud feature on Drake's Take Care. Her knack for punchlines, wide variety of flows, alter egos, pop appeal, and alpha attitude while maintaining her sex appeal all contribute to making her one of the best and most successful artists ever, with 104 Hot 100 entries, the most of any female artist ever. Despite constantly being one of the best rappers in the game every year for nearly a decade, with vintage mixtape tracks like Itty Bitty Piggy and smash hits like Super Bass, Nicki Minaj has become one of the most ridiculed and controversial rappers today. With factors including beef with key women in music, confrontations with male rappers and media figures, and her increasingly numbers-driven approach to music, let's take a look at why much of the hip-hop community refuses to let Nicki's legacy stand in peace. A good place to start is Nicki Minaj's history of beef with women in the industry. Never shy to speak her mind or confront what she thinks is wrong, Nicki has gotten into it with some extremely popular figures in the industry. Regardless of how right or wrong she was, Nicki was guaranteed to be hated by millions because of who she's gone after, including pop stars like Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift, plus beloved women in rap such as Cardi B and Remy Ma. While the vast majority of hip-hop fans couldn't care less about Miley Cyrus or Taylor Swift, these beefs set Nicki Minaj up to be the queen of rap that any potential challenger had to go through. Prior to the 2015 VMAs, Nicki voiced her frustration with the nominees for Video of the Year after her widely popular Anaconda video wasn't nominated. Most notably was a tweet that said, "If your video celebrates women with very slim bodies, you will be nominated for Video of the Year." This tweet came with other tweets about how Nicki Minaj, not being a certain type of artist, kept the Anaconda video from getting the VMA's highest honor despite the music video breaking the record for most views in 24 hours and its choreography and images being seen all across TV and social media that year. Miley Cyrus thought Nicki's critiques were in bad faith. Cyrus said Nicki's words were "not too kind" in a 2015 New York Times interview and implied that Minaj was jealous about not being nominated. Taylor Swift expressed disappointment in Nicki's tweets, saying that she thought it was unlike Nicki to pit women against each other. In the 2015 VMAs, Nicki won Best Hip Hop Video of the Year and used her last few seconds on stage to announce her displeasure with Cyrus's comments about her tweets with the now infamous question, "Miley, what's good?" Nicki Minaj, a black woman and a rapper, called out 2 of the biggest pop stars of the decade and forced the issue of misogyny in the music industry into the mainstream. Nicki Minaj is not a leading social justice activist, but the 2015 VMAs showcased part of Nicki's persona, someone who is unafraid to call out what she thinks is unjust, however it makes her look. This high-profile beef, along with her commercial success, continued to cement Nicki's status as the queen of rap, with little to no challenge until Cardi B's massive 2017 hit with Bodak Yellow. Then, Cardi's impressive debut album Invasion of Privacy, which won the 2019 Grammy for Best Rap Album. Nicki's beef with Taylor and Miley was about fighting to make a female rapper's voice matter. Nicki's beef with Cardi B was a fight to be that one voice. For as small as the mountaintop is in hip-hop, it is even smaller for women in hip-hop because mostly male artists and fans exclude them from serious consideration. When it became clear that Cardi B had a case for hottest woman in rap, fellow New Yorker Nicki Minaj was the test that she had to pass. First, there was Cardi's appearance on stage with Remy Ma during her 2017 Summer Jam set soon after Remy dropped her Nicki Minaj diss track Sheather, the high point of a long-running beef that saw Nicki's pop rap image challenged by Remy's non-nonsense bars and hardened street image. Then there was a mutual refusal to shoot their scenes for the Migos Motorsport video together. Months after that story gained buzz, the squabble during the New York Fashion Week happened in the fall of 2018. resulting in Cardi throwing a shoe at Nicki. With an ongoing back and forth across various social media platforms as well as Nicki's Queen radio show, the Cardi-Nicki beef had been explosive, petty, and by the admission of both superstars, exhausting. Adding to the confusion is a recent interview Chance the Rapper did on the Big Boy hosted Real 92.3 show, in which Chance claimed that much of the Nicki-Cardi beef was produced. Chance added to that by saying, "A lot of everything is curated before we see it, like all the information, the way that they phrase it to us, the way that they put people against, it's made for you to accept it a certain way, so a lot of people had to choose a side." A statement like this coming from someone of Chance's stature and character who actually knows Nicki Minaj seems credible. If at all true, it adds to the recent image of Nicki as an artist past her prime, obsessed with industry politics. Adding to Nicki's recent history of beefs over industry politics are feuds with media personalities such as DJ Academics and a veteran rapper turned podcaster Joe Budden, as well as Grammy-nominated artist Travis Scott. Some of her actions in these battles with men are reasonable, and others are harder to defend. Regardless of how right or wrong Nicki was, these fights have added to her image of sensitive, angry, and a sore loser. Starting with the Travis Scott beef in 2018, the top spot on the Billboard 200 is a serious achievement worth fighting for. It's even more valuable to a young protege looking to become a true star, as well as a black woman in her 30s looking to make a decade of dominance undisputable. What people don't give Nicki credit for is how hard it is to have a secure legacy as a woman in hip-hop. To be clowned for debuting at number 2 on the charts, despite selling nearly 200,000 records in the first week, is harsh. Despite the nearly impossible standards that she has to meet, people focus on the fact that Nicki not only criticized Travis for using album merch bundles, which Nicki also used, but that she also accused Travis's daughter Stormi of being a commercial prop. The valid frustration Nicki had about album bundles and the stacked odds she faced got lost in the nasty personal jabs and hypocrisy. Of course, there's plenty to say about the replay value and the quality of Nicki's rap song Queen, but we'll touch on that later. Moving on, we have back-to-back feuds with two of hip-hop's most notable online media figures in Joe Budden and DJ Academics. Nicki and Budden have long held opinions about each other, but the real beef stems from a visit Joe and his co-host Rory and Mal made to the Queen Radio this past August, where Budden first questioned Nicki about her and Cardi's verses on Motorsport, then suggesting that Nicki had been popping pills in the summer of 2018. This jab put Minaj over the edge, resulting in a rant and Budden's mic being cut off for the rest of the show. Days later, Nicki Minaj appeared on the Joe Budden podcast, holding on to much of the rage she felt toward Budden's suggestion that she did drugs in 2018. She fired back at Budden for about an hour, claiming Budden liked to pick on women and didn't know how to handle a woman with a powerful voice. Much like her outrage at Astroworld beating out Queen on the charts, many people were distracted from Nicki's points by her persistent shouting and personal attacks. Nicki's beef with DJ Academics is probably the least defensible of the three because of the power dynamic. After a series of jabs and threats at Academics via DMs, he made Nicki's exchange with him public. In a strange conversation, Nicki accused Academics of being a closeted gay man, then sent thinly veiled threats of a beating at the hands of her husband and Blood Gang member Kenneth Perry. After revealing that Nicki also threatened to expose information on DJ Academic's family, Ac put out a long-hour critique of Nicki Minaj, including criticism of her recent commercial performance, her history of instigating beef, and claims that her increasingly aggressive image is fake. As we've learned from Wale's debacle with Complex, threatening media figures is never a smart move for a rapper. Along with the drama, critics claim Nicki's shift away from hard rap as a reason for their recent disapproval of her. This is slightly inaccurate since Nicki has had a pop element to her discography for most of her career. But there is some truth to the idea that Nicki is more concerned with great sales numbers than putting out the hardest verses. While she still manages to drop standout feature verses, Nicki's solo singles from the Queen album have had very high peaks but little staying power. Aside from Chung Lee, songs like Barbie Dreams and Good Form reached peaks of number 18 and number 60 on the Hot 100 respectively, but fell off the chart entirely within several weeks. Her 2019 single Megatron debuted at number 20, but stayed on the chart for only about 5 weeks, falling from number 20 to number 92 in the second week. Making the Hot 100 consistently is still an impressive feat, but the crash and burn of these singles says people aren't keeping Nicki Minaj songs in the rotation for as long anymore. Along with her pop-oriented rap singles, Nicki has hopped on all kinds of radio-friendly dance and pop singles in the last year or so, including the BTS hit Idol, Chris Brown's Wobble Up, and Little Mix's Woman Like Me. For every big hit she's featured on like Big Bank, she has several other singles that don't do big numbers. Nicki is rapping her ass off to this day, but her ability to make an infectious single or add spice to someone else's big single is not as big as it once was. People have gotten used to Nicki's approach to pop music, and she hasn't found a solid change in her sound to stand on. Of course, Nicki Minaj's version of Struggling still involves occasional gold and platinum plaques, but we have to acknowledge she is past her commercial and artistic prime. When it's all said and done, Nicki Minaj will most likely get the respect her career deserves. She's been in the game too long with way too many wins not to get it. However, right now, Nicki's fast and furious flameout is partly a result of ignorance to racism and sexism in the music industry, and partly a result of Nicki picking the wrong fights and obsessing over sales at the cost of her image and quality of her music. Her recent retirement announcement might allow the drama to fade away, even if she does get back into the game. Given time and less drama, Nicki's last year and a half might just be a small stain on an otherwise legendary body of work. I guess we'll have to see. This has been a Hip Hop Madness original. Make sure to stay tuned and stay up to date with everything we got going on by hitting that subscribe button and notification bell. Oh, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Hip Hop Madness and join the movement.